Hi, this is King Snow for Lightspeed Saber League, the world's fastest light-based fencing, and today I'm going to show you how to do the fastest attack in Lightspeed Saber, the bolt. Now the bolt is really just the flesh, the arrow attack in traditional fencing. The technique is basically identical. Any differences in technique are really just because of my own inadequacies. It looks something like this. You may have heard that the bolt or flesh is a running attack, but not really actually. Any running that occurs usually happens after the hit has already landed. In a way, you're really just flying at the opponent for a brief moment, and the run occurs simply because you're bleeding off your momentum, and because when executed well, you're leaning in very, very far forward, and you're really just trying to catch yourself, and that turns into a run. So let's go ahead and break it down into pieces and try to see if we can create a progression for executing the bolt. First of all, we're going to stand at a certain distance from our target. We're going to see if we can hit it. As you can see, I can hit this just by standing here, right? So there's not a whole lot of reason for the bolt at this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and step back just a bit and show you that I can no longer reach the target. So from here, to get to the target, I'm going to bring my back foot up with me and put my weight on my front foot. And we're going to try to hit the target from this position. As you can see, I can now reach it, whereas before I could not. Now we're going to step back more to the point that we are out of range, and even with that lean, bringing the knee up, we're not going to be able to reach it. From here, we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to lean forward, okay? And this time we're going to lean forward enough that we need to catch ourselves with this passing leg. So watch this, I'm going to lean forward, I can't get it, right? So I lean forward, and I'm going to lean in more until I'm able to hit it, and I'm going to catch my body with my leg. I'm just going to step back all the way here. In this case, I'm going to have to lean in even more to get the hit. Here I go. Now you'll note that I'm not putting a lot of force into this, right? I'm actually not pushing off my legs at all, okay? I'm really just catching myself, and the run occurs as a natural component of the imbalance that you're using to execute the action. Now we're going to go even further back to this point here and see if I can get there. At this point, it is out of reach for me. So I'm going to add in another move. At this point, I am now going to start propelling. So in this case, what's going to happen is I'm going to lean in, and then at the last moment, I'm going to push off this leg here. So it's going to look something like this. Okay? Get your weight on one foot, and then push off here with your toes. Now, let's do it for real. I'm going to lean forward and go for that target. So I'm going to lean, push, and strike, and land. Lean, push, lean, push, strike, and land. Strike and land. Now let's go ahead even further than that. At this point, I'm pretty far away from this target. It's unlikely you'll ever use this movement from this position, but this will show you the amount of power generation from your legs that you can create, and therefore you'll be very, very effective and be able to launch a powerful, fast attack from a closer range. So let's see if I can do this one. Nope, I didn't get it, so I'm going to need a little bit more than that. So in this case, I'm going to double my power generation from this position here. I'm going to punch off this leg here, and then I'll punch off this leg. So it's going to be kind of like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. Here I go. Okay, I did barely get that one. Let me try it one more time. In truth, range is really not the purpose of the bolt. What you really want to do is execute the bolt at outside of lunge distance so that your opponent is caught off guard. They're not going to realize that they're in range when they actually are. But you don't want to do it from an extremely long range either, because it's going to be a lot harder to execute.
That was a little hard, sorry. No, you're fine.
What you're really looking for is speed and acceleration. So you want to use a moderate distance, just outside of lunge distance, and then accelerate to maximum from that position. That way you get the best combination of surprise because you're just out of reach and they didn't expect you to be in reach, and also a good amount of power generation so that you can come in very, very quickly. So if I try to check what my lunge distance is, so I'm just out of range here. So this is a great position to do your bolt. A couple other notes while you're practicing this movement. You want to make sure that your hit lands before your passing foot hits the floor. Otherwise, it doesn't count. So if you do something like this, that is not a bolt. You just ran at them and then hit them, okay? So the hit has to arrive before that passing foot hits the floor, in the moment that you are flying at them, okay? If you get that right, then you did it at the correct distance and timing. If you didn't, that means you're too far away or you're not getting enough force generation from your legs. I like to do it from this distance over here in order to force students to lean in as far as possible so they get the muscle memory of being able to put as much forward momentum as they possibly can. All right, so get out there, try it out, have fun, and I'll see you in the box.